Welcome to the afternoon show on WVON, Afternoons with Buchanan and Hill. I am so excited about this next conversation. I'd seen this come across, I think, my Instagram page some time ago, and I've been coordinating back and forth for the better part of a month to get these gentlemen on, and they have taken time in their busy schedules to join us today to inform us about what I think is one of the most monumental things of 2024, the Dream Exchange. That's right, a minority-led and owned stock exchange that is on the way. I am joined on the live line by their CEO and founder, civil rights attorney, securities lawyer, CPA, and former military officer Joe Cecala, as well as the director of the Dream Exchange, Chicago's very own attorney, Dwain Kyles. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. How are you both today?
We're good. We're good. How are you doing?
Oh, fantastic. If I may begin, let's start with Mr. Cecala, the CEO, founder and CEO. You have a very interesting background, again, as a civil rights attorney, securities lawyer. That piqued my interest in particular. How has your background in both a securities attorney as well as a civil rights attorney prepared you for this moment with Dream Exchange?
Well, yeah, thank you for the question. I like to say I Forrest Gump my way through my life. Those two, I guess, careers are a very unique combination. You don't find a lot of people that are, in the stock world, in the financial world, that were in the civil rights world, and vice versa. You don't find a lot of civil rights people that are in the world of finance. So that combination has been wonderful. But I think my childhood and my more than 20-year friendship with Dwain Kyles has probably been more instrumental in all things to getting us to open what we're doing. And another thing, I grew up on the West Side. I grew up in Austin. I'm part of the community. I'm part of the fabric of what is the Black community in Chicago. I love Chicago, and I love the community. And what we're doing is, I would call it, the culmination of 60 years of Dr. King's work, which is, let's put prosperity into the community. What we finally have to come to the chapter of in civil rights is a perfect combination for what my life has been, which is bringing prosperity into the world of civil rights so that everyone is able to enjoy our country and the American dream on a fair and equal basis, which is something that's been missing for a very long time. And anyway, that's kind of the combination. There's not a lot of people generally. I think our community is even a little bit less informed on how to build wealth, and there's a lot of attention on it right now. How do we build wealth? How do I make investments, and how do I grow a company, and how do I get money for my company, and how can I participate in the entire ecosystem of our country? Well, Dwain and I have really come together to build an organization that is literally the seat at the table among the other stock exchanges in our country to put that equality and fairness into the system and make it available to a community of people that really has never had a seat at the table. So that's how my career is really, I feel like it's a perfect place at the perfect time in the history of the country. Everything is coming together, and it's an idea whose time has come, and I couldn't have a more gracious and a more powerful and a more eloquent business partner than Dwain Kyles, who is really the integrity and the strength behind everything that we do.
Well, let's bring him into this conversation as you so eloquently set him up. Attorney Kyles, again, as I understand it, you were born on the west side of Chicago. Your family moved to Memphis, and you are the son of famous famed Reverend Samuel Billy Kyles of Monumental Baptist Church, where he pastored for 55 years. Let's backtrack a little bit now that we know a little bit about you. Let's start with you. As what is the Dream Exchange, and what is it to you as well?
Thank you, Brother Buchanan, for having us on today. This is, for me, the culmination of life's work. You know, what I learned most importantly growing up at Monumental Baptist Church in Memphis, Tennessee, was how the community cared for each other and how I had an obligation as the PK, you know, the preacher's kid, to make sure that I honored, you know, the extent to which people went out of their way to support the church and to support our family. And that sense of obligation was heightened by our family's participation in the civil rights movement. My father, you know, coming from Chicago in the late 50s, was not used to the kinds of discrimination that we faced in our faces. I mean, just, you know, separate water fountains, the whole nine. I mean, in Memphis. So he was in his 20s. I mean, he was a young guy. He started a fledgling church with 34 members, and he just wasn't having it. I mean, and he wasn't used to it. He didn't want to try to get used to it. And I saw him over the course of 50 years really build the confidence and empowered the confidence in our congregation, and empower those people to really expect more and how to get more. But what always was the problem was access to capital. Whether it was trying to get the money to buy our church, or whether it was, you know, our members trying to get money to buy homes or to try to start businesses, which he encouraged, it was always about access to capital. And the Dream Exchange for me, like I said, is a culmination of the work that I've done to try to help people in our community to live better lives and to thrive. But that is awfully hard to do if you don't have access to capital. It's just almost impossible. And so we have found all these creative ways to survive and to try to navigate this country as a people. And consistently, you know, we have had all kinds of terrible things to happen that undermined our progress. One of the things that is so extraordinary about the Dream Exchange is going back to what Joe just said, and that's the relationship that we have. I just don't think there are, there's never been the kind of relationship between a person like myself, having grown up in the struggle, being fortunate enough to go to law school and kind of getting a feel for what is required to be successful in this country, but then having a partner who grew up literally in the same neighborhood, basic neighborhood that I did, didn't know him until I got to be an adult, way into my adulthood. And our friendship was really forged trying to secure capital for small Black-owned businesses. He was doing it in the white community, and I was trying to do it in the Black community and wasn't having much success. And when he came and we became friends, and I understood what he did, I was like, you need to do this for some of my friends. And as he tried and saw that people with great ideas, great work ethics, you know, great integrity, were trying so hard to build their businesses, and if they had been white, these people would have been funded immediately. And it didn't happen. And that his frustration and my frustration together really fueled a continuing effort to try to figure out how we could really get to the root of this problem and really generate some kind of systemic change. And that's what the Dream Exchange will do.
Break. And thank you for that eloquent answer. It helps us better understand, again, the culmination of your relationship. And it actually makes me more excited to see the foundation, because it seems like both of you gentlemen have been bred for this moment, both individually and as a collective. So let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, what I want to ask you guys or get an answer to is this question: the Dream Exchange. How will venture exchanges affect the Black community? We'll come back right after the break with traffic and weather. Again, with the Dream Exchange. We'll be right back. Sit tight. We are back on Afternoons with Buchanan and Hill. Again, I am joined on the live line by the CEO and founder of the Dream Exchange, Attorney Joe Cecala, a civil rights attorney, as well as Attorney Dwain Kyles. Again, thank you, gentlemen. He is the director of Dream Exchange. And right before we go on to break, I had posed the question, how will venture exchanges affect the Black community? I'll ask you first, Mr. Cecala.
So venture exchanges, they don't exist right now. This is an invention that has come from the Dream Exchange. It's in a new piece of legislation called the Main Street Growth Act. And what is a venture exchange? Well, the word venture is really kind of bad. It doesn't have anything to do with really venture capital. It's a genuine stock exchange, but it's dedicated to very, very small companies. And what people should understand is that stock exchanges are just rules by which the buying and selling of stock occurs. So what we had to do was write a new federal law, which we have done. We're instrumental in this. We're really the authors of this new law that brings the bar into a reachable level so that the smaller businesses, and this is going to be focused on our community, because the fact is that, if you need $1 billion, well, you don't really need us, okay? Billion-dollar companies are all over the place, and, there are even large, Black-owned companies that have lots and lots of money. But what about the small companies? So when the venture legislation, the Main Street Growth Act, passes, which it will do this year, it creates a new venue for the small business owner to come and get $5 or $10 million and make a meaningful difference in those smaller companies so that they can be part of an ecosystem. They can grow. And that's the importance of it. It's twofold. One is any entrepreneur, anyone, regardless of race, can come and participate in the national capital market. The trillions of dollars that are invested in our stock markets, well, we don't have access to that. But this grants access to those trillions of dollars, but it's a very small basis so that a small company can do what a very large company does. And I found, and we mentioned it before, this is more about the companies Dwain and I over the more than 20 years haven't been able to help, because there's just all kinds of if you don't have a good Rolodex and you don't have relationships from Harvard, very difficult to raise $5 or $10 million. But when you come to the Dream Exchange and you have good ideas and you have a good company and you can actually earn and own a piece of the American dream, and then no one can take it from you. If someone gives you something, they might be able to take it back. But when you are able to come in and earn it and own it, it's yours. And then venture exchanges allow that ownership to occur where we can actually have small business owners participating in the full breadth of the American capital system and grow their companies and become successful. That's what the venture exchange legislation and our idea for a venture exchange uniquely is all about.
We've got about a minute left before we go, but I do have one more question for you, Attorney Kyles. I'm just wondering if you could expound a bit on the collaborative efforts that it's going to take with leaders and organizations within the Black community to ensure that the Dream Exchange truly addresses the needs and concerns of minority entrepreneurs.
Thank you for that question, Brother Tiva. The truth is that stock exchanges don't matter if people don't understand what they do and are thus not interested or interested in or capable of engaging. It will be critical for us to form alliances with legacy organizations and others who are interested in this kind of work. Much of our effort, unlike any other exchange that has ever existed, is in educating people about money and about the kinds of things that entrepreneurs, that people who are in graduate school looking for business degrees, how that community is able to navigate the educational environment, but also we want to create, and we will create, a collaborative community of interest where people are supportive of each other, where we really do the kinds of things that are necessary to build the support and to build companies and to grow our communities from within. That's the only way this is going to work. And that's not going to happen if we ourselves are out here trying to tell this story and to convey this message. We're going to need the help and coordination and collaboration of everybody who is interested in seeing our communities thrive.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining me today. Again, Attorney Joe Cecala, founder and CEO of the Dream Exchange, as well as Dwain Kyles, the director of the Dream Exchange. If our listeners want to know more about how they can follow and support, where can they go?
So they can go to dreamex.com, our website, and we will get back to you. There's ways to navigate inside the website and contact us. Reach out. Our staff will get back to you personally. But it's DreamEx, DREAMEX.com is the best way to reach us.
Absolutely. And do you guys promise to come back once all the licensing is approved and everything is good to go?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, know that you have a welcome seat here on the afternoon show with Buchanan and Hill, and we longfully await the day that we'll be able to come back and inform the listeners that everything is good to go and that they can invest and do everything they need to do to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful venture.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate you and this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sit tight, everybody. We're coming up on 4 o'clock. We'll be right back after we check in with Robin to find out what's in the news. That's it, everybody.